Alright, looking forward to get into this patch, especially because as a person who plays a lot of hybrids or who was planning to play a lot of hybrids, I only have two so far. That is Phantom and Ieru. Uh, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they play, what I can do with them. I'm gonna jump on my main crafter really quick. And my first character, my main character. I've only been playing for about 2 years, so well, I started at Somerset, and this was the main character here, my first character. Let's see what I should have did. You know, this is a good time to talk about some of the buffs that Templars need. We really, well, I'll say this. Even though I would love to have another morph for Templars to like Magplars to use, Templars need some love too. So one of these morphs should be a stamina morph at least. And it says deal damages and interrupts all enemies near this point of impact. Increases damage dealt. I mean, the damage is fine, I guess, but it doesn't really compare to this one. You know, if you're it's going to stun them for 3 seconds, like automatically already. This one, you have to actually hit, like you have to actually interrupt somebody, or just it's not worth using. Like, what is this? Like, what is this? Zoss, come on, like, show the Templar some love. You know, I think it's pretty lame that, you know, not to be rude. I don't mean to be rude, but it's pretty lame when you look at this class. What they're, you know, it's just pretty lame. I'm gonna stick with that. Need the damage. Yeah, not gonna bother with Blazing Shield either, Sun Shield, because again, it's another skill that just is fine for tanks, but you know, Magplars need a class shield. We can't even use it. Like, I'm not gonna spend a point on that. On one morph, you could have um, the shield, the one that does damage on cast. That should be one that is for the Magplars, Magic Templars. And the other morph, the one that does damage based on the amount of damage it absorbs, that should be for the tanks. And then we can get into stuff like passives. The passives are just so bad. Here's I propose a rework for these. They're on the forums too. My suggestions are on the forums. Piercing Spear should be a penetration bonus, right? And Burning Light should be the Piercing Spear. Increase your critical damage by 10%. Make that Burning Light. Increase your critical damage by 10%. And then Piercing Spear should be a flat percentage, not percentage, but a flat penetration bonus. Or you can do a percentage, but I would say a flat bonus would be better to help reduce calculations. Spear wall. Um, yeah, this is a good passive, and I'm glad they extended it to 6 seconds. That is something that I suggested in the past that they actually did, and I'm glad they did that because it used to be like 3 seconds, which didn't make sense because the duration of Sun Shield was 6 seconds. So why not have the Spear Wall passive match the length of Sun Shield? So that's great. Um, Balanced Warrior, another one that just needs a little bit of help. It's great that you get increased weapon damage and spell resistance, but what good is weapon damage doing to a Magplar? Right now, a Templar can use spell resistance, but that number seems weaker, lower than it was before. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. But what good is it to a Magplar? So why can't Balanced Warrior increase both weapon is and spell damage by 6% and reduce physical and spell resistance by 2,640? That would make more sense to me. Now, Dawn's Wrath, Backlash. I still love to use the skill. Oh man, every time I look at it, it's just so bad. Okay, you get minor breach, reducing their physical and spell resistance. But now, especially with the new status effect, Sunder, this is pointless now. You're gonna get minor breach. Minor breach is gonna be so easy to get just from doing physical damage. And then the damage that it copies and explodes with is just so weak as well. Unless your max stamina is super high, and really it's just weak. At Purifying Light, the same thing. It's the explosion is really weak, and um, but the suggested change for this one, in my opinion, would be rather than having the healing effect be there once here's how it is. You cast it, right? You have your window to do damage, and then it explodes after 6 seconds, or if you fill it up before that, and after that, then the healing effect takes place in that location. All right. So for 6 seconds, you can stay there and be healed for right now the tooltip is low. It says 1981 for every 6 seconds. Every 2 seconds. But you have to stay in that spot to get the heal. Why can't the heal start ticking as soon as you cast it? So every 2 seconds, as soon as you cast it on a person, you're getting that heal back so that you can stay in their face, right? And that's one of the problems that Templars have is being able to stay offensive, uh, or Magpies at least. Have the heal start ticking as soon as you cast Purifying Light on the target. All right, Eclipse. I'm sorry. I don't know. Some people like to use this, but I don't. My suggested change for this, the Eclipse, would be for instead of not just Eclipse, but Total Dark. Instead of casting a bubble on a target, make it like what's that? Make it like a negate type of um, area that you can cast around yourself or around another place, and so that you can sort of create your house, right? Templars were supposed to have a house, but anyway, so you cast this sort of like negate like bubble. You can make the bubble white or shining like light, as Templar skill should be, and with this negate type of in this negate type of area, you will still have the same effects as the old eclipse or the old total darken effect. And that would be every time your enemy uses a direct damage attack, right? You reduce their movement speed by 30%. I don't want to put a skill point into it. I mean, I could, but just to see it, but I don't want to. You reduce their movement speed, and it harms them every time they do that direct attack in that area. So that would be a great defensive move. And if they want to get out of it, all they got to do is just leave the area, right? Just leave the bubble. There's no need for them to like CC break or try to cleanse it or anything like that. It won't affect their CC ability to be crowd controlled, like to be rooted or stunned. It's just while they're in their area. Now, radiant oppression. I don't really have too many complaints about this. It's a range skill. I guess the issue that I would say this. It says 1.8 seconds, but sometimes it can feel like an eternity because it is interruptible, and you put that beam out there and you can get interrupted, and then you're open to just getting blasted. Now I guess it's fair because it's ranged, but at the same time, I have yet been able to find a way to interrupt a dizzy swing or an executioner. you know, I've tried to bash to do some to interrupt them in some way, but I don't know, I can't. But if I do a radiant impression, I can get interrupted. Passives, worthless really. Um, you extend the duration of the skills, but it doesn't necessarily increase the damage. Let's see, purify light. Oh, that still says 6 seconds, but yeah, doesn't necessarily increase the damage. So you're just, what's the point? Prism is a good one. Get some ultimate regen. That's a good one. Illuminate is fine. It gives you minor sorcery to you into your group. But what good does minor sorcery do to a Templar? What they should do is have Illuminate give minor, was it minor savagery or minor brutality? It might be minor brutality. So minor brutality to you, and then minor sorcery to you also, but also to your group. So minor brutality and minor sorcery to you, and minor sorcery to your group. Restoring spirit reduces health cost. Okay, that's fine. Reduce cost, big deal, I guess. uh, what do you call it? Yeah, the Dragon Knights. They have a passive where it was basically a 5-piece where when they activate an ultimate, they actually restore a bunch of resources, and it's pretty insane. Like you could be just in like a real bad situation, hit a leap, and bam, you're back in the fight again. you know. I don't think I'm gonna put any skill points into Rite of Passage. There are better skills out there. Uh, did I get the Nova? I sure didn't. All right, it's fine. Uh, it's a fine skill. eh, yeah, whatever. Oh, Vampire's Bane. I totally forgot about Vampire's Bane. I know like a lot of people like to use reflective light because it splits into three, but for my Magplar, I just like to play like I wouldn't use either one in PvE anyway. It really just, I mean, not like I wouldn't use it for like if I was doing. I mean, I guess I could use it, but it's not really not that good. You know, it does damage over 16 seconds, but it's such the ticks each tick is so weak. It's like why even slot it? It needs a buff. Solar flare. I guess they changed it so that it does more damage. No, it does less damage, but it's more of a quicker cast now. But like, why even? I don't know. I guess it's fine for range mag players, even though I've wanted to use it sometime at range. It just, blast bones is better in like every way. Blast bones, frags, just better in every way. So I would probably just stick with solar barrage. But even this skill can be kind of weak sometimes. Storing light, like I said, this used to be major protection. Now it's, but I mean, I guess that's maybe it's not a bad buff because I guess it depends on what your um, what you're up against. 30% reduced damage depends on how much damage is incoming. But I haven't really seen anybody use this in PvP lately that has actually not regretted it. you know, like it used to be that when somebody used this skill, like there was a pretty good chance you weren't going to kill them. Now, if they use this channel, yeah, you can just go ahead and just beat on them. You could probably get them down. And maybe that was the point. Maybe that's why they changed it. But I don't know. To me, that makes it not worth really putting points into anymore. Now let's get into the heals because this is where I have a lot to say. Honor the Dead. Um, this is fine for solo play, but the other morph is better in my opinion for group play. And here's the thing: you have another heal called Healing Ritual. But this one is also supposed to be for group play. To me, that's redundant as hell. Why do you have two? I shouldn't put. I use this on my Breton tank because my Breton can actually handle the cost of the skill. My Magplar can't handle the cost. So you have Hasty Prayer, and the other one is uh, I can't remember the name, but you heal somebody. Usually you have a 10-meter range radius, and with one more if you can heal somebody outside of that range, one other person outside of that range. And the other morph you have Hasty Prayer, where everybody who is healed also gets the minor expedition buff, which now has been moved to 15%. Okay, that's all fine and everything, but that minor expedition would be great to have as a solo player. If you're on your own, you're PvPing or PvEing, and you need to heal and get out of the way or something like that to move quickly, it would be so great to have this skill, to be able to hit that skill and have minor expedition. Major expedition would be even better, but anyway, minor expedition would be great, but it's locked behind a massive cost. and it's a group heal. So why can't we make the solo these two heals the solo heals? Only heal yourself, not another teammate, and make this the group heal. One morph to heal a person outside of the radius, and the other morph to um. Oh, what was my idea for the other morph? Basically, move minor expedition to one of these heals, one of these solo heals, and just keep these heals group oriented. But we need some sort of um, mobility. Templars lack mobility, and it would be nice if one of our skills can do that for us. Restoring aura. I use this sometimes. Sometimes I even use repentance. I use radiant aura sometimes. But here's the thing. This one only restores health and stamina, which is not bad. I mean the passive is nice. You get the minor intellect, minor endurance, and minor fortitude just for having it slotted. But then again, it has to be slotted. So if it's not on your bar, you're not getting it. And for the most part, there are better back bar skills, in my opinion. Especially now that magic attacks can cause a new status effect, which is called overcharge. And overcharge gives you minor magic steel. So two of the Templar skills have been made rather worthless now. The so I'm just not gonna. I'm just gonna put. Yeah, I select repentance for now. But so basically, you have power of the light and repentance, or not repentance, but radiant aura have both been made worthless. You don't need these skills anymore. Like this class is so outdated. you know, hey, look at the warden and the necro and the abilities they have, and how none of their passives, even on the DK, none of their passives seem wasted. Their skills all give you buffs upon buffs on top of buffs. Get so much damage mitigation, so much extra healing from having dots on you. Cleansing ritual, extended ritual is still a good skill, but they massacred my boy. Ritual of retribution. They massacred my boy. I know some people out there say if you use Ritual of Retribution, you're playing Templar wrong. That's back when it cleansed two effects and gave you a heal over time and a damage over time effect to your enemies in that area. But screw what those people say. You just play the way you want to play. So, Ritual of Retribution used to be a pretty good skill for solo PvE. It was actually a great skill for solo PvE. Cast it, you're getting a heal over time, and you're doing damage over time while you're fighting. Now you can only do damage over time. And my theory for why they keep nerfing Templars the way they keep taking things away from Templars, is because they keep introducing new classes and they keep introducing mythics that, well, let's say a mythic like you have Ring of the Pale Order or whatever. I think that's the one that heals you based on the damage that you do. If you stack Ring of the Pale Order with Ritual of Retribution, you're going to be getting like mega heals. And so, rather than just say screw it, we're not going to make this mythic, they say let's nerf the Templar skill, make the mythic. So now, if you want that heal over time while you're doing damage, you got to get the mythic. How can I say? How can I say exactly how angry that makes me? It was a fine skill. And now, since they took away the heal, it still only cleanses 2 effects. Why not just have it cleanse 5 effects then? Since you took away the heal from it. I want. I wish I could just be in the office, this office, and be like, listen, please, you guys gotta play the game. I get the feeling that you don't actually play the game. These changes that you make. All right, increases the healing for. Okay, these are fine. Um, Sacred Ground is a pretty good passive. I like Sacred Ground, especially since the one buff that they did give us is that you have 10% more block mitigation while you're in your Sacred Ground, or while you still have that passive active. That was a good buff. I like that. That helps out tanks too. So yeah, my Breton tank can appreciate that. All right, now Lightweaver. This skill does nothing for the player. Does everything for the team, but nothing for the player. You can grant, you can heal your ally and grant them 2 ultimate. But what about you? What do you get? Well, you get 33,000 physical and spell resistance while you channel your ultimate, right? But why not just put that on the ultimate? Why put that in the passive? Put that in the ultimate and put something that we can actually use in the passive. Like, my suggestion was not only do you give okay, I think my idea was that I put on the forum was that when you heal a ultimate under 50%, you can or yourself, you heal an ally under 50% or yourself, you grant yourself or them 2 ultimate. And if that's just too much, have it happen every, if you think that's overpowered, every so many seconds or whatever, to sort of stretch it out some, so that you're not just getting mad ultimate regen. Because this will actually be pretty dope on a Nord, because they already have high ultimate regen. But so anyway, here's another one. Master Ritualist increases resurrection speed by 20% and resurrect allies with 100% more health. That's fine for your allies. But what about you? What do you get from these 2 passives on the Templar? What do we get as the player out of these passives? So I get a chance to fill a soul gem. So what? Like, I sell soul gems. I have so many soul gems that I just don't need. I sell them. And especially with the new CP passive, where you can actually pick this passive and not have to use a soul gem ever again. What is this? Thoughts, please help this class. Alright, I think I'm done with that rant. I might as well just stop this video and just because I was supposed to be talking about something else, but I started getting into passives. So yeah, I just stop here and continue this video later with a different topic.